Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing okay. Finally, I've managed to get around to having the time to do my kit review for the new Airfix 1/72 Avro Lancaster Mark II. Mentioned this kit before. It's the kit that's been produced alongside the RAF Bomber resupply set. They go hand in hand because this kit comes with no armament, so no bombs. The armament for this one does come out of the resupply set, and the resupply set, the review I've done previously, it gives you a nice variety of armament to put onto this model. But to begin with, the box, the artwork, again, same artist that did the box for the resupply set. A really nice painting of the Mark II. I'm really chuffed that Airfix have done this kit. I mean, when you think about it, of over 7,000 Lancasters that were produced, only around 300 of them were Mark IIs, which is why I think for so long we've only ever had Mark I or Mark III Lancaster variants that we've been able to build. This kit, I think, primarily is the Dam Busters retooling that was done. Was it last year? With the alterations made to the moulding to produce the Bristol Hercules radial engine, and a couple of other things which were only applicable to the Mark II, which you'll see as we go on. So, as I say, artwork lovely as always. The instructions are typical Airfix, nice and clear, pretty straightforward. There's no amendment sheet in this kit as there was in the resupply set, and it's got all of the variations of undercarriage up and down. It's got a couple of different variations with wing flaps and with the bomb bay open and closed. And then, as I say, it tells you in here bomb loads to suit this model available separately in the bomber resupply set. And at the back of the instructions, it gives you a few different bomb loads to suit the aircraft. The 8,000 pound, the 4,000 pound, some of the smaller munitions as well. So you've got a nice variety of what you might want to do with the model. Plus then with the resupply set having the bomb trolleys and things like that, there's a huge amount that you can do with these kits together. Nice clean decals, nice and clear. Again, I think the decals in the kits that we're getting from Airfix at the moment are really nice, real good quality. And you've got an A3 colour chart for this one. You have Royal Air Force Fanny Firkin, which was Squadron 514, or you have Z Zombie, which is actually Royal Canadian Air Force. So there you go, Cohen, if you fancy doing another aircraft, mate. It is a nice one. Believe me, this is a nice one to do. I will just say, actually, Cohen, watching more and more of your builds, you're actually pushing me in the direction of building my first ever armour. So we'll see how that goes for the future. But that's a separate topic. So the sprues, nice and clean, clear sprue, nice clean, nice and clear, nice and bright. There are a few pieces on here which again lead me to believe that this is the other Lancaster Dambusters kit, predominantly, then with a separate sprue, but which we will see. Here we've got the undercarriage, the regular Bombay doors, the wheel well doors, moving on, and the sprues, they're nice and clean. The mouldings are very, very good. I mean, the detail is absolutely top notch. The detail is fantastic. The sprues themselves do have a little bit of flash on them, but the actual pieces don't. I mean, you've got, if you can see down here, you've got flash, so like here, but then there's very, very little flash on the actual piece. You're getting flash on the actual sprue, not the actual moulding pieces themselves. But the detail is absolutely incredible. I mean, you could carry on to your heart's content picking out detail and what have you on them. So, I say wing spars, armaments, various things on there. Half of the fuselage, wheels, one of the main spars, and then we've got wing parts and tail parts and what have you. Same again for the next sprue, and I'm whizzing through these because you'll see. So we've got the other spar, the Bombay, the other tail pieces, wheels and what have you. But then we get to this final sprue, and from what I've seen reviews online, incredibly I don't actually have the retooled Airfix Lancaster for the Dambusters special that was done. I don't have that yet. Let's just put it like that. But the reviews that I've seen, these sprues do seem pretty similar. As I say, I've got a feeling that predominantly the kit stayed the same until we get to this final sprue, and this is everything that makes it into a Mark II. The engine nacelles, both the undercarriage and the plain engine nacelles. We have the propellers, the cowlings, the engine parts themselves, the exhaust manifolds. There's your front cowling, there's your side cowlings, all these sorts of bits and pieces. This is what makes it the Mark II. The other thing that makes it a Mark II, and it was only the Mark IIs that it was ever put on to, is that it had a ventral turret, so a belly turret, and it actually had redesigned Bombay doors, which aerodynamically shielded the turret. If we look on Z Zombie, you can just make out that the belly of the aircraft goes flat. On Fanny Firkin, you see that the Bombay protrudes outward, and right at the back you have the belly turret. I'll show you in the instructions. Now, incredibly, it's the belly turret that really was the one that the Lancaster needed most. Being a night bomber, so many were lost to night fighters coming up from below and shooting up into the formation from below, hitting the underside, hitting the fuel tanks and the wings and the engines. But it's only the Mark II that ever had that turret. In the instructions you see the bomb bay. You have the bomb bay doors, and then you have this additional part on the fuselage which shields the round opening, bearing in mind this is obviously upside down, shields the round opening for the belly turret that goes in there. So I mean, basically that turret and the radial engine is what the Mark II was. It was only ever built because of the perceived and the feared shortage of the Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. The Mark I Lancaster, the Spitfire, the Mosquito were all using the Merlin, and they were worried of the supply being so great on the production that the Mark II was put into production using the Bristol radial engine, which was the engine that was used on the Hanley Page. It was on the Hanley Page, Halifax, and some others. As I say, there were only, I think it was 301 Mark IIs that were built, by which point the engine supplies were considered sufficient that they then reverted back to either finishing the production line as Mark Is or continuing with the newer Mark III. But as I say, I am really pleased that Airfix have chosen to do this kit. I'm a huge Lancaster fan. It is my favourite aircraft. Incredibly, of all of the ones that I've built over my life, none of them have survived. So like a big move in my life a few years ago, or 10 years ago. So it's going to be quite nice. I see it as a good excuse to build up a good collection again. I think my model making skills are a little better now than they were then. So it's going to be a real nice addition to the Dam Buster variant and either the Mark I, the Mark III, the Tamiya Grand Slam variant, the 148th version with the Grand Slam that's available. So this does kind of complete the set, complete all of the variants of the Lancaster that were in production during the war. So I think along with that, and as I say, along with the resupply set, they really are two great kits that will go together really, really nicely. As I've said previously, I have plans for these kits. Incidentally, there is one other thing which I did find on YouTube. There is a film called Night Bombers 1943, which is a film that was made on a World War II bomber airfield. It was made by I think it was the squadron commander of the airfield, but it's in colour, and it's some of the only film I've ever seen of a bomber airfield, a British bomber airfield in colour of the Second World War. And you see a lot of this stuff in the film: the scaffold towers, the tractor tug, the Tilly, the armaments, the bomb trolleys. You see a lot of the stuff in there. Now, obviously colour, the colour match won't be perfect because of the age of the film, but it gives you a really good indication of how it all looked and how it all weathered. And as I say, it's one of the only, you know, it's about 50 odd minutes long, so it's a good chunk of film. So if you're you know, a World War II you know, a World War II bomber nerd, as I guess I am, it's one to really check out. There's a lot of information in it that will be useful to you. So there we go. Finally gotten around then to do my review for it. It's a great kit. It's a lovely kit, really nicely made, really well moulded. I just need to get a couple of other things built. I have a couple of things to paint. I have the Apache that I want to move on. You know, a fair way down the process before I start doing this one. I may do the Dam Busters Lancaster first to get my feet wet, because I really want to invest a lot of time into this one. So, but there we go. So I hope everybody's well. I know a few people are having a tough time at the moment out there, so I hope everybody's doing as well as they can do. I hope everybody else is having happy modelling, and I will catch everybody again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.